Hi, how are you? First of all, please, it's very important that you help me to continue creating content. Subscribe to the channel, leave your likes and tell me what you think at the end of the video. How is Amazon's profit? Amazon disappoints and drops 50% of net income in Q3 to $3,156 billion. Sales in the most recent quarter were $110.8 billion, up 15% year-on-year, but below expectations. Amazon reported third-quarter net income of $3.156 billion, or $6.12 a share, after adjustments. The result represents a drop of 50.15% compared to earnings of $6.331 billion or $12.37 per share, for the same period last year. Analysts heard by FactSet predicted $8.90 in earnings per share and, after the result, the share retreated 3.90% in after hours in New York, at 5:15 p.m. Amazon's sales for the most recent quarter were $110.8 billion, up 15% year-on-year, but below FactSet's $111.6 billion expectation. Operating income, on the other hand, dropped from $6.2 billion in the third quarter of 2020 to $4.9 billion in the same period of the current year. In its balance sheet, the company says that, faced with the choice between optimizing profits in the short term and doing what is best for customers in the long term, it chose the latter alternative. Amazon says that there has been an effort to extend its delivery network since the beginning of the pandemic, with rising costs, and also claims that it faces issues of staff shortages, rising wage costs and global supply chain issues as well as higher freight costs to transport products. How is the oil price? Global diplomacy acts to stop oil above $100. Behind closed doors, an intense campaign is underway to convince OPEC Plus to accelerate production growth. Over the past year, oil-consuming countries have become more apprehensive about the rise in barrel prices, first to $50, then $75, and now over $85. When Vladimir Putin, the Russian president who is a OPEC Plus cartel leaders, warned that $100 was a possibility, alarms did sound. In a context of high inflation that forces some central banks to raise interest rates earlier than expected, the U.S., India, Japan and other consumer countries are putting the greatest diplomatic pressure in years on the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies. Behind closed doors, an intense campaign is underway to convince OPEC Plus to accelerate production growth, according to several diplomats and industry members involved in the talks. The cartel, which meets virtually on November 4 to review its policies, is currently ramping up production at a pace of 400,000 barrels a day per month. Private efforts add to recent public appeals. The government of U.S. President Joe Biden is concerned about the increase in the price of gasoline to the highest level in 7 years and has for weeks been urging OPEC Plus to produce more oil. In an unusual move, Japan, the world's fourth-largest oil consumer, joined this campaign in late October, marking the first such action by the government in Tokyo since 2008. India, the world's third-largest consumer, has also called for a rise in oil consumption fuel production. China is silent in public, but is just as active behind closed doors, according to diplomats. "We are in an energy crisis," said Amos Hochstein, the top U.S. diplomat for the sector, echoing a view widely held by major oil-consuming nations. Producers need to ensure that the oil and gas markets are balanced. American, Japanese and Indian officials spoke discreetly to each other and approached other major oil consumers and producers. Contacts began 3 weeks ago, but have intensified in recent days after the barrel went from $85 a barrel. The Japanese government is asking Middle East oil-producing countries to increase production, said Tsutomu Sujimori, president of the Japan Petroleum Association. Not impede the complete recovery of the world economy. So far, Saudi Arabia and other countries have refused to step up, arguing that monthly additions of 400,000 barrels a day are enough to satisfy the appetite for oil in a global economy still suffering from the consequences of the pandemic. "We're not out of the woods yet," Saudi Arabia's energy minister, Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman, said in an interview with Bloomberg Television last week. "We need to be careful. The crisis is contained, but not necessarily over. Thank you very much. See you next time."